What's happening, Steeler Nation? Hold on. I'm getting some feedback here. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I think I have it. Yeah, I had it on stream so I could hear myself. But yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Still Basement, a.k.a. the virtual Heinz Field. What is happening? Hopefully, we do not have any technical difficulties tonight. Stream is doing well right now, but as you guys saw last week, it went haywire on us. I don't know why. It is not my fault. It is YouTube's fault. Told you guys last week, for you guys that didn't come around for the second part of that show, my speed was 900 and something plus megabytes per second. So I don't know what was going on. Sometimes that connection from your software to YouTube gets crazy. Hopefully we don't experience that tonight. But also, one other thing I'm going to do really quick, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. See that timer? I don't even think we're going that long tonight. I mean it. I am tired. You guys know this is my commute night. I didn't sleep that well last night, so normally I can muster through it, and I'm mustering through it right now. But guys, we're going to come back. We're doing the live show on Thursday. So tonight is really about just in and out. I'm opening up for phone calls early for you guys who want to stump for your guy. I'll read you that information and those details once again so you guys know what that means and how to participate. But other than that, y'all got to bear with me tonight. Y'all got to at least honor the fact that I'm not going to be long. I'm in and out, and I do not want to be on here for an hour, but that is the max tonight. So first, I got to give a round of applause before I even say hello to the early commenters. We got a donation already, man. Round of applause. Round of applause isn't working. You know why? Because I didn't cut it on. So hold on real quick, guys. It's so funny. Sometimes it works on its own, and that's why I don't always actually turn on. I have a program, a device called the Stream Deck. Here it is, guys. Round of applause. A lot of times the Stream Deck works without me actually opening the application. So when you guys notice that I don't have certain things up, that's the reason why. But round of applause to Kev. So fun, man. Here he is donating again. Thank you. He says, Sim, I know you saw my Celtics win, and I don't know why Philly's struggling, but on to my Steelers. Question, if Malik Willis or Kyle Hamilton slip and both are on the board at 20, who do you take, and are you going to live on Thursday? Yes, I will be live on Thursday. Again, that's the reason why tonight is going to be a in and out type of show. Let me answer a few of your questions. I saw the Celtics, man. Listen, shout outs to the Celtics. It makes my Sixers, the upper management, look, I guess you could say, more brilliant since Ben Simmons didn't get on the court. And, clearly he bowed out. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if his back is hurting or what have you, but I'm going to just make fun like everyone else. Clearly he knew he wasn't going to play once they went down 3-0. They didn't even get a chance to play with him this season, and they lost. They got swept. So shout outs to the Celtics, man. Honestly, I like the crop of young players that the Celtics have. And Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, a few of those guys. I can't call everyone's name right now, but I like that young nucleus that they have. They've been pretty good the last few years, so shout outs to them. As far as my Sixers, I don't know. James Harden has not been James Harden, and maybe he's just incapable of being James Harden, and Maxey has been very good and been as serviceable as he can be, beyond serviceable in my opinion. Tobias Harris has done some things here and there. Embiid is Embiid, league MVP, we all know. But listen, James Harden hasn't been superstar James Harden, and the Sixers, they're in trouble. I say they're in trouble even at 3-2 because now all the pressure is on them to close. And I told you guys earlier, I don't think my Sixers are winning a title this year anyway, but that's all I'm going to give you on that. So let's move on to football. I would take, more than likely, if we're sitting at 20, no trade up or anything like that. Some of you guys may disagree, but Honestly, I probably would take Malik Willis over Kyle Hamilton only because of, I'm just thinking about potential upside. Listen, some of you guys are not big fans of this QB class. I get it. But you got to think, if you can get a talent, would-be talent, one guy who projects to, not even projects, but one guy that you can look at and say, yo, this kid could be special if he's groomed the right way, it's Malik Willis, clearly. The intangible tools that he has and the athlete that he is and escapability and things like that, the cannon arm. If you could just hone that in, work on his mechanics, work on his accuracy, i.e. Josh Allen. If he could, just imagine if Malik Willis could be the next Josh Allen in terms of, okay, first season wasn't all that great, but look at him now. Clearly, Josh Allen improved from where he was when he was drafted. If you're telling me Malik Willis can have that type of upside, I'm taking Malik Willis at 20 without having to trade up if he's available. That's just me. And I like Kyle Hamilton. Absolutely. And I'm going to actually get into Kyle Hamilton a little bit in a moment here, but that's just my 2 cents on your question. So there you have it. Another round of applause here, a.k.a. Baby Steeler, Miss Angie. Thank you, Miss Angie. Round of applause. He says, happy belated birthday, Miss Lady. I definitely appreciate you for that. So I definitely appreciate the birthday wishes. Much appreciated. And thank you for your donation. And thank you for viewing. Again, ladies, always got to give our ladies a special hello. Let's really quick go through the introductions here, the special hellos and shout outs to the early commenters. The Real Missy 868. Hello, The Real Missy, another lady of the chat. I don't think I've seen you in a while. Excuse me. Glad to have you back. I hope all is well, but thank you, Missy. I was about to say Miss Missy. Thank you, Miss Lady, for coming through like always. We appreciate you. The Arch Steeler 937. Hello, Miss Lanisha. Lanisha in the building each and every week. We all love Lanisha, man. So hello, Lanisha. Thank you for tuning in. It's funny. I'm always going to thank y'all, but it is kind of redundant, right? Because I know y'all feel that. I don't. I can thank you every day, but y'all are probably like, we're going to be here. But that's why I thank y'all so much. Jared Devil. Kev So Fun. Obviously, we know he's here. Ron Simpson Gaming. Hello, good buddy. Cutboy 412, Cardinal Larry 24, Jersey Boy 70, Vista Light, The Real Deal, Miss Odessa. Hello, Miss Odessa. Happy to see you as well. Appreciate you as always. Thank you for tuning in. Oh man, our resident Wisdom Winningham. That's what I'm gonna call him, Mr. Wisdom Winningham. What's going on, Mr. Winningham? Glad to have you here tonight, of course. Who else we got up in here, man? Let's see. Steeler Nation 412, Eric McDuffie. Who else? Anyone else? Miss Debbie. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Debbie. The ringleader of Ladies of Steeler Nation. Hello, Debbie. Appreciate you like always. Glad you're here. And don't forget, ladies of Steeler Nation, if any of you ladies want to come on Thursday, you're more than welcome. I know myself and Kenyon will be on, Tony's to be determined, but you're more than welcome. Any of the ladies, so y'all know how to reach me. Just let me know. Darren Tressler, Jordan Mid, and I guess we'll end it right about there. Robert Westover as well, Mr. ABS. We'll end it right there. All right, guys, quick in and out. First thing I'm going to talk about is, number one, Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin spoke. They had their, annual draft conference, preparing for the draft. And you guys know they never really give us too much. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to drink a sip of water. I just ate dinner. Y'all know I rush all that on Tuesdays because I'm traveling from D.C. and I eat, and then I come right on to the show. So you know how it is when you just ate. Sometimes stuff is stuck in your esophagus. You got to clear your throat or drink something. Excuse me. My lovely wife hooked up some of this Spanish rice tonight, so y'all know how it is when you eat rice. Sometimes a little piece of rice be stuck like a rata. But let's talk about that conference. They never give you too much. However, there's a couple nuggets to pull from it. They were asked, Mike Tomlin was asked if there's been any update on Stephon Tuitt. He said no. Kind of smiled, and, I don't know what to take from that. I think it kind of was, even though a smile isn't generally a poker face, but I think that's kind of Mike Tomlin's poker face of kind of saying, nah, you didn't get me. I'm just going to say no update. He's doing well. I don't know if that, literally means that, or if he's, again, just being poker face-ish, not giving us any real information, but it's enough information for me. The fact that we still don't have a definitive on Stephon Tuitt doesn't look good, folks. I'm just going to say that. And again, I got to understand with the loss that he had with his brother. Listen, man, that's his brother. Some people are being very insensitive out there talking about, people pass it. You don't know how that affects people. You don't. Y'all know my recent, loss with my mom and all that with COVID back in 2020. That still affects me right now. You know what I mean? Deeply. So I can imagine a big brother losing a younger brother. Like, you just never know. And at the end of the day, listen, he's played football. And if he's ready to retire, he doesn't want to come back to the game, so be it. Wish him well. And pray for him and his family. Pray for his future endeavors. At the end of the day, you don't know him, nor do I. We don't know them personally, so it's sometimes it's just a little weird to see how fans take such a personal approach towards these people. I don't get it. I would love to have him back, absolutely, but fact of the matter is, it is April 26th, and we haven't heard a word yet. That is not comforting. There's still time, but it's not comforting. There was a picture out there recently with Tyson Alualu and Cam Hayward working out together. You would think if Tua was back in the fold, they would all have been together. Now, of course, there could be things, and he could be doing this, could be doing that on vacation, whatever. But I'm just saying, these are the little things you look for. These are the little nuggets you look for. Do you see any type of normalcy from Stephon Tuitt involving the team and voluntary workouts and stuff? You're not seeing it. It's a little concerning. That's all I'm saying. But that's about all they gave us. Outside of that, they did ask, more questions. I thought it was and listen, I don't want to attack this reporter because I don't know what his aim was, but I thought it was very tasteless. The question about, he might not have meant it this way, but he said, the passing of Dwayne Haskins, does that alter your listen, I get what he was getting at, but I just feel like that wasn't the time to ask that question. It came off a little and you saw, for you guys who watched it, you saw how Tomlin responded to it, basically saying, right now it's more about supporting his family and basically saying, dog, that ain't got nothing to do with our business practices. It ain't nothing. That issue and how the team is dealing with that is a personal thing. We're not looking at it from a business standpoint, a depth chart standpoint. And I thought it was a great way to answer that and get his point across, basically saying, come on, don't ask that question. So, that was something else. The only thing else that I did pull out, Kevin Colbert gave some examples of trading up. I thought it was interesting that he used an example of going from 7 to 20. Didn't go into great detail, but kinda, is there any smoke around that? And then also Mike Tomlin talked about, how like when they drafted Najee Harris last year, it wasn't any secret. They were going to certain pro days and things like that. And they're kind of following the same pattern with checking out each and every one of the top prospect quarterbacks. Are they giving us a clear sign as to what they're going to do? Who knows? And I'll talk about that in a moment as well. Now, I did mention to you guys I was going to talk a little bit about Kyle Hamilton. Now, Kyle Hamilton, in my opinion, I don't think he's in play in the first round. And let me explain to you why. In case you don't know it already, the Steelers have re-signed Terrell Edmonds. 1 year, $2.5 million. Wow. I'm going to give the Steelers a round of applause for excellent business right there. Round of applause to the Steelers. Listen, now who knew if they knew it would work out this way? But they took a chance. They did not do the 5th-year option. They allowed Terrell Edmunds to test free agency, and they ended up signing him to a 1-year deal, basically a prove-it type of deal. He's betting on himself. Excuse me. And they able to sign him for pretty much about $4 million less than what they would have had to have paid him on the 5th-year option. That is excellent business. It worked out in their favor. Like I said, there's no way they predicted it to an exact science. But wow. Gotta applaud them. And here's the thing. I know some of you people are upset. Some of us lovely fans are sad and you're hurting because you thought it was going to be the Honey Badger. I told you a long time ago it wasn't going to happen. Most of us knew that wasn't going to happen because the Steelers were not going to pay what I think the Honey Badger thinks he's worth, and he probably is worth a decent amount. But he's close to 30 years old. All of that factors in. They wasn't going to break the bank on the Honey Badger, knowing that they need to extend Minkah. It makes sense. If you can get the guy who started for you at strong safety last season for $2.5 million, knows the system, has been a starter year after year, and has got, again, my humble opinion, his game has improved each season, already has a relationship with his peers and his co-host at safety. It's a no-brainer. I know some of you guys don't like Terrell Edmunds, but I'm here to tell you this as well. You draft a rookie and put him in that spot, it's probably the same situation. Maybe the rookie makes a couple plays. Terrell Edmunds actually made a few plays his rookie season. Got a couple picks, if I remember correctly. But it doesn't mean he was outstanding. So what guarantee do we have that a rookie is going to come in and be outstanding? So I think this is a win-win situation. They can still draft a safety. I just don't think it's Kyle Hamilton in the first round. I think this puts the Steelers in a position where they don't have to do that unless if he's there at 20. But any speculation of some people saying maybe the Steelers move up and take a non-quarterback, and a lot of people were saying it could be Kyle Hamilton, that ain't happening now. That will not happen in my opinion. There's not going to be a trade up for him with Terrell Edmunds being signed. If he's there at 20 and the Steelers have him as the best player available, it's possible that they will still do that because you still may draft a safety at some point anyway. But do not expect any outstanding or aggressive move to go get Kyle Hamilton at this point. Now that Terrell Edmunds is signed before the draft, that is telling. Because I'm sure if Terrell Edmunds was still available, I don't know for sure, but I can assume that he's going to be available after the draft, since he hadn't been signed already. So the fact that they pull that trigger right then, it almost is like, okay, we've solidified this, we got that back in the fold. Kevin Colbert actually said out of his own mouth, I think now we have our 22nd starter. Is letting you know that they're putting themselves in position to do what we've all been saying, to either take the best player available or shift and move up and down that board. And I think that's what we're going to get. And that'll lead me to my last point. And then, like I said, I'm going to open it up to calls, man, because I don't have anything else much after this. Who will they draft in the first round? It is hard to say. It's very hard to say because, like I just finished saying, they put themselves in position to do whatever they want. Face it, Steelers fans. I know what you guys might want them to do. I'm just speaking from the organization. Kevin Colbert says we now have our 22nd starter. That means they can do whatever they want. That means that the Steelers do not believe they have to draft or that they will draft for a need. And that includes quarterback. He said that. Not me. Not you. Kevin Colbert said, signing Terrell Edmunds, we essentially signed our 22nd starter. Okay, for those of you, I know I'm just being funny here, but for some people that don't understand the 22 analogy, well, there's 11 starters on defense, 11 starters on offense. So he's basically telling you that up until the point that they signed Terrell Edmunds, they believe all of those 21 guys that were already in starting positions are locked in. And this is our 22nd guy. So we have our starting defense and starting offense in our mind. So now we don't have to go draft for a starter. Even though he did give us some insight about how they look at the draft picks. He said that essentially when they draft, they feel as though the first 1 through 3, the first 3 draft picks have to become starters at some point. I thought that was telling as well. Because that just means at some point in the future. Do I have to remind you guys what happened when the Steelers drafted Ben Roethlisberger? Ben Roethlisberger was not drafted to start that season. Maybe later on in the season if he earned it, but they didn't draft him to say, you're coming right in and you're going to be the starter. And I know it was way back in 2004. I get it, but I'm just saying. Anybody ever heard of Aaron Rodgers? Same situation. You want to do a little more recent than that? Guess who else didn't start his first year? 2 people. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Not the first season. They didn't start the season as the starters. So when I say that, I mean that the Steelers could very well still go quarterback with no intention of him starting right now because Kevin Colbert said so. Kevin Colbert is basically said that we already have a starting quarterback. He said Terrell Edmunds is the 22nd starter. This is going to be interesting. Round of applause, man. I saw a donation somewhere. No, I think I saw 2 pop-ups for members. Round of applause to Sade as well as Wave Dave 10. Round of applause. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, man. Those are my thoughts, guys. I'm going to stick to this, and I'm sure I will be talking about it on Thursday. I am not going to be surprised if the Steelers move up to get Malik Willis. I guess my only surprise draft night will be if they move up to get another quarterback. That's going to surprise me. It is going to surprise me because, you saw some reports coming out. I forget who it was. It might have been Todd McShay. It's one of those dudes. There was one report saying that the Steelers like Kenny Pickett over Willis. And then there was another report saying that sources are saying that there's no quarterback that's going to go before the 20th pick. So if the Steelers have the pick of the litter and they pick a QB outside of Malik Willis or they move up to get a QB outside of Malik Willis, then I'm going to be surprised. What I'm not going to be surprised about Thursday night is the Steelers move up and take Malik Willis. That's not going to surprise me. Or the Steelers sit tight at 20 and they take the best player available. So at this moment, cannot call what they're going to do. What I would like to see them do. Now I'm putting myself in a pickle. Me personally, I don't mind moving up to get Malik Willis if he's the guy. I would prefer if they move up though. Let me say it like this. I would prefer if the Steelers move that they move after pick number 10. Because I think it is going to cost a good penny to go into the top 10. So if they move up, they jump to 11 or one of those spots that they think they have to take them, I'm cool with them doing that. I would rather not have to go all the way to 10, but if they, within 10, but if they do it, it is what it is. But if I had my pick, I would like to see them be able to, if they move up to get Willis, or I would prefer it to be Willis, they do it at picks 11 and down. Or they sit at 20 and they take the best player available at 20. Those would be my scenarios that I would prefer. But I'm going to support the team. however way it goes. And again, let me say it again. Don't be surprised if somehow you see Desmond Ridder become a Pittsburgh Steeler. I don't want him to move up to do that. But don't be surprised, folks. That's just my 2 cents. So, guys, that's all I got. Let me see if we have anybody in the film queue. We do have a few phone calls. Again, like I said, man, the stumping for your guy kind of lost its steam last week when the show messed up. So, I mean, if you guys still want to do that, great. And we'll highlight your points. Maybe we'll bring you on the show for a little while on Thursday, just depending on how everything goes. But I'm going to just be open and honest, man. The idea kind of got wrecked last week, and I wanted to have more time to do it. But if you did still have an interest in doing that, or if you just want to say this in your phone call, let me at least give you the criteria again. So even if it's not about coming on the show and all of that, stumping for your guy, who the number 1 pick should be. These are the things we want to hear. How well or how familiar are you with that player's school, their position, their stats, their intangibles and tangible attributes? Number 2, how will that particular player fit on this team, whether that's position group or overall team? And number 3, what about this player sets them apart from the other players in their position that are also in the draft? All right, so let's answer a few phone calls, guys. And then after that, we can shut her down. First in the queue is Area 951. What you got for us?
Hey, man, thanks for taking my call. The first thing is, if I was the Steelers, they probably would have to trade up to get this guy. But, I mean, I would be more likely to take Jordan Davis simply because, you know, he's a freak of nature, his size and speed, you know, his tangibles that he did at the draft as far as the combine, and not to mention his presence alone, whether you think he's a first and second down player only or all 3 downs, he's going to benefit or he's going to make other players around him, i.e. Cam, you know, TJ, Miles Jack, Devin Bush, all those types of defense. His presence alone is going to benefit those guys in the field. He's going to open up and create more space for them to make plays. Because if you don't pay attention to him, he has the motor to make a difference. And the scenario I present to you and the fans out there is, if you had to pick 2 people, Jordan Davis or Hamilton, which one would you pick? My answer would be Davis, just because of what he can do for other players on the defense. All right, thanks for taking my call, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt, guys. So it looks like 951 is interested in Jordan Davis, and it sounds like he, you know, is pretty familiar with him. Just to give a response to your guy, in no way, shape, or form would I be upset if they pick a Jordan Davis and he's there. I mean, just think about what this guy can mean for the middle of that defense, especially if a Stephon Tuitt is not going to be a part of the defense. My only, and I don't want to say concern because I don't want to doubt somebody until I see them do it or not do it. But my only minor concern or eyebrow raise would be, is he a 3-down guy? You know, the Steelers play a lot of sub-package. You know, are we going to be able to keep him on the field? You know, in pass situations, meaning, is he going to be able to stay on the field from, you know, a stamina standpoint, or is he capable of rushing the passer? You know what I'm saying? So that's my only little But freak of nature. I do not believe I could be upset or mad or disagree with that pick whatsoever. So those are my 2 cents on that. Next up, we got one of our area code 973s. What you got for us?
What's good, Sim? How you brother tonight?
Good. What's going on, man?
I can't call it, but my thing is, I really don't like any of the quarterbacks in this year's draft as being any franchise quarterback. Malik Willis, if we get him at 20, I wouldn't be upset. I don't want to have to trade up to get Malik Willis. Not from the 20 to 10 and give up so much draft capital. Because I got a feeling, Sim, we're gonna have problems with Deontay Johnson. I see the diva starting to come in, the $20 million. Not, no going to OTA, even though it's voluntary. But I see, just in case, I want to keep that card of having number 2 because, Pittsburgh draft good receivers. It's only 3 positions that I would take in the first round in the Steelers. That would be defensive line, wide receivers, and dress the secondary. Because, you always got to address a position where, like Cincinnati, they got T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. They the AFC North leaders, so we got to draft to beat them to get back to the top of the North. So I just want your thoughts on it, but I just can't see ourselves drafting from those 20 to 10 for Malik Willis, as much as I like him, but, that's just my opinion. You have a good night, brother.
Yeah, man, have a good night as well, and I'll definitely respond to that. I mean, you make a good point. It's, man, anytime you move up, you're giving up something. And the key thing that you said there, because I saw this in some of the scenarios. Some of the scenarios was including the second-round pick. It was swapping the first, giving up the second, and then giving up something next year. And I'm like, man, I would prefer not to give up the second-round pick this season because of the limit. We only got, 7 picks? And we don't have a 5th or something like that. So even some of our other picks are later. I don't know if I want to do that this season. My scenario was more so, and I mean, some people would disagree with this, but my scenario would have been more swap the first, and then maybe we'd have to give up next year's first, which I know some people say that's bad too, but essentially doing that is like the Steelers saying, well, we want this quarterback instead of those coming out next year. So it's kind of like, even if I didn't agree with it, I would understand it. But giving up the second this year too, I'm with you. I don't want to do that. And that's a fair assessment, man. It's funny that none of these quarterbacks are a clear-cut yes. And that's the truth. So I understand folks like yourself and even me that would prefer not to trade. Like I said, if they trade up, man, I'm cool with them trading anywhere after the 10th pick because it's just going to be too much to get within that top 10. So I'm with you. Next up, man, area code 651. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Sam, man?
What's going on?
Not much, man. So I'm hearing everybody say Hamilton is too high or whatever, but one thing I'm noticing is the value of safety to these teams are less. The money, when free agency comes, they don't want to pay them. You look at Jamal Adams, he went in the top 10, but Mika went number 11. Malik Hooker went number 15. Derwin James went number 16. So it's like, I think he's going to fall in that range. So if they wanted him, they could get him. Yeah. But I actually think they should stand pat at 20. We're going to get a potential starter at whatever position at 20 anyway, other than quarterback. And to be honest, which one of those guys will start this year either way? I don't think Trubisky's going to lose out to either one of them this year. So my question is, do you stay at 20 and potentially get Andrew Booth Jr. if he falls there? Or I know Stingley's probably going to go pretty quick, but who knows with these corners? I would rather take one of these 3 corners somewhere in there if I could. And then whoever this quarterback is, let's say we trade up and get rid of the second, where it doesn't cost as much draft capital, right? Let's say we get on the second and trade up to get it from the second pick. And then what happens next year is, if you decide one of those quarterbacks, or we're low enough to get one of those quarterbacks, let them fight it out. What's Tomlin's favorite saying? $2, one bone. Yeah. We're going to need backup quarterbacks next year anyway. Rudolph's not coming back. Dwayne Haskins gone, unfortunately. Trubisky only will have 1 year left on his deal. So, I mean, it's a need regardless. So, is it better to trade up to a guy? Because, like you said, neither one of these 3 guys are standing far and above anybody else. So, that's what I got, man. Man,
that is a great point you're making there, brother. Listen, I know people don't want to hear it, and I'm not campaigning for this guy either. But it's something makes me think that they do like Ritter. Because you think about it. Tomlin and Colbert always talk about pedigree. And this guy, again, none of these quarterbacks are perfect. So I want everybody to at least get on that same page. I don't think any of these dudes are head and shoulders beyond the next one. Not Kenny Pickett. Not Malik Willis. Malik Willis probably has the most potential upside if you had to look at these 5 dudes and be like, man, who could turn out to be a real problem if they're developed? You would say Malik because of just his unscripted play is just come on. But are we saying that any of these quarterbacks are that much better than Ritter? Only reason why I say that is because I don't think enough people is considering what my man just said. What if the Steelers, they expected some of these quarterbacks to not go in the first round. So what if they chill at 20, get what they got to get, then they trade up in the second to get one of them? And it could be a guy like Ritter. This could very well happen. And that's why I keep saying that. Don't forget about Desmond Ritter. I could be completely wrong, folks. I'm just saying I got a feeling. Really quick, you guys listen to Steelers Depot. Alex Kazur for Steelers Depot does this thing all the time. Things Steelers look for, all these positions. And I don't know if he did it with the quarterbacks, but in my mind, I feel like Ritter fits the mold of what they might be looking for now. A guy who's still, slightly bigger as far as height and can move on the run. I just feel like Ritter is higher on their board in comparison to these 5 quarterbacks than people think. I think Willis is probably number 1, but I think Ritter is right there. He's probably the second or third guy that they like out of these 5. So we might see a situation, and I wouldn't be mad if they sat tight at 20, pick the best player available, and then they move in the second. If their hearts are set on one of these 5. Because I don't think all of these dudes are going in the first. So we'll see, man. I see Tony Carson is saying Carson Strong. No disrespect to Strong. I think he, arm talent as far as stuff like that, he's probably one of the better guys, maybe from just what I saw. It's not mobile, though. So that's going to defeat the purpose of the future. I know you have Trubisky now, but that's the only reason why I'm not even putting, I'm not putting Carson Strong in that mix. And that's not a disrespect to him. It's just his play style. But appreciate the call, man. Next up, we have another one of our 937 alumni. What you got for us?
Hey. What's up, Sam? What's up, Steelers Nation?
My man, what's going on?
Can you hear me clearly? I don't know about you. Y'all should be excited, man. This is like being a kid on Christmas morning with wealthy parents.
Yeah.
That's how I view the draft, man. The draft is very exciting to me, especially for our boys, man. You know what I mean? I know I got to cut it short there. Yeah, man, all these mock drafts and everything, nobody really knows what's going to happen, right? And, in a sense, it's a fantasy. I mean, But, you might get 1 or 2 right, but in all the history of footballdom, if you will, ain't nobody got it 100% right, ever.
Yeah.
So, since that's true, then that means, to a certain degree, it's a fantasy. So, let's have some fun and let's fantasize. So my question for you tonight, somebody already touched on it, but I'm going to do it again because I'm going to stick with my notes here. But Willis, I love you, man, as much as you do. Really, I don't want nobody else because of his athleticism. And, I've seen him do some amazing things.
Yeah.
I got him, yes, sir. I put him like a Russell Wilson, but a little bit more athletic. And I love Russell, dog. Trust me, I love Russell Wilson. So that's a big compliment. I think it'll take a year to develop or whatever. But then I got this over here, since we're fantasizing, because we don't know what they're going to do. You got to move up or whatever. And then Hey, JD, Jordan Davis, look, man, to me, he's Aaron Donald-ish. Imagine if he's like Aaron Donald, man, with our defense already. We go from a good defense to an elite defense. I'm betwixt. I don't know which one, man. But I'm just saying, say if it happens like that. Because Pittsburgh's slick, man. They'll fool you. Because we hold our cards close to our chest, if you will. And they'll psych you out and then go another, you know. Look at this dude, man. I studied this tape, man. He do got something special, you know. So that's my question to you tonight, Tim. Not what the Steelers would do as an organization, and we know our organization, but what would you if Tomlin said, hey, I'm going to talk to that Sim guy, and, let's see his opinion. Yeah, I heard he was pretty good, you know. Who would you pick if you had either one, Malik Willis or Jordan Davis? And I'm out. Peace, love, and Steel for life.
Man, my man Johnny, appreciate the call, brother. We always look forward to it. And you are 993 is your prefix, so I'm gonna remember that, so I know it's you, because I know it's a lot of y'all at 937. Man, I don't want to think about it. I just want to go off of emotion, knee-jerk reaction. What would I do? And I'm only going off of upside with both of these guys. It's a hard decision because, man, like you said, just imagining the defense with a guy like Jordan Davis in the middle of it, with T.J. Watt in his prime, with even for how much more time we have Cam Hayward and Minka on the back end, and now even we get a dude we know that's going to run around in a Miles Jack. Woof, man. However, I'm going to let the biasness, if that's a word, of what I see in our division influence me to take Malik Willis. Only reason why I say that is because I look at Lamar Jackson, and for whatever people want to say, some people say he's overrated. Take all of that off the board. Just think of some of the plays that Lamar Jackson has been able to make to either win a game for the Ravens, get them out of a tough situation, pick up a key first down, pose a real dual threat to the defense. I haven't seen that with the Steelers, right? Meaning, the days of slash, the game won't play the way it's played now. Like if Cordell Stewart would have played in this era, would have been interesting. So I don't feel like I got a chance to see the Lamar Jackson-esque guy in those days because the game just wasn't played the same way. So I say Malik only because, again, if somebody told me this dude is going to become elite, I would go with him because I just haven't had the pleasure to see a different style of Pittsburgh offense. And it would just be cool to see that. Like, wouldn't it be cool to have an edge on your seat moment for our Steelers? Like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. I've never seen that, me personally. So my selfishness or my biasness of seeing a Lamar Jackson type of guy do that, my man Russell Wilson. I mean, all right, I'll give y'all another quick example, then I'm going to move because we got a few more calls. Remember when Ben used to be Ben? Like we used to say, oh, he's playing Ben ball and the elusiveness and all that. And think about it. Ben did it as a lumbering guy, a big boy, big Eiffel Tower type, the Big Ben as they call him. So imagine us having that same type of thing, escapability with a dude who might be able to house that thing or take off and pick up 20 yards, 20, 30. It would just be a beautiful thing to see. That's all I'm saying. And that's just, I guess, me being selfish. It would just be a thing of beauty to see. I've never seen it from my Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's what I would do. Next up, area code 434. What you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, Sam?
Nothing much, brother.
You taking my call.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look. I'm going back to the safety position, right? Okay, I understand we signed Terrell for a 1 year, $2.5 million deal. My thing of it is, I know we can't trade up to get Kyle Hampton. Kyle Hampton, that's my boy right there. He's an athletic freak. But the second tier safety, somebody like Dax Hill, I've been watching film on that guy, bro. He reminds me of a more athletic Mike Hilton. And with that being said, you know, we can use him and like a 3 safety set. Because at the end of the day, we got all these quarterbacks in the AFC, and we need to create some turnovers on that back end. So we can use him in blitz packages, and he can help in the run game. That's all I got for you, man. Just can you speak up on Dax here for me? Appreciate you for taking my call, bro.
Yeah, man, definitely appreciate you calling. You know, y'all know I be transparent. I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of Dax Hill. I've seen a little bit of him. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not qualified right now to talk about him. I will take a look, though, especially if somehow, well, you know what? I'm going to make it my business to watch him, maybe some tomorrow, but at least before the second round. So at least I could come back next week, or maybe even Thursday night, I could give you some of my thoughts on him at that point. But I know a lot of people have talked about him, and I will say this. I'm not opposed to that at all, man. Like one of those other, it's another guy. What's the dude named? Scene. It's a couple other safeties. I'm cool with that too, man. Is because we still need somebody that's in position to be the next guy. Edmonds is only signed for a year. We don't know if Edmonds is going to ball out and he gets a contract from us. So we're at a point where we're still going to have to draft somebody if we can. Now, the interesting thing about Kyle Hamilton, and the last caller said the same thing about he might be available. I wonder if his 40 time drops him down. You know, he's a baller. You cut on the tape, I don't see 4.7. I see a football player. I see an athletic freak. I see a dude making plays. But I wonder, you know, some people are still stuck on the measurables. Does that 40 time drop him down? And like I said, he's sitting there at 20. Steelers might grab him, man. Again, remember, guys, best player available could be at 20. And if they really want a quarterback, Ritter or somebody is going to be there in a second. I just want to paint that picture so we're not surprised if that happens. So for you guys who've talked about Kyle Hamilton, I know I said at the beginning of the show that, well, I said what's out is they're not going to trade up for him. I don't think that happens because of Edmonds. But if he's there, he's in play. So for you Kyle Hamilton fans, he might be picked. And it might be a guy like Desmond Ritter getting picked in the second round as far as a quarterback. So just prepare yourself for that. Round of applause, man, to Pittsburgh. Appreciate the donation. Pittsburgh says Steelers need to go defense with the first round. Got to prep for that division, let alone the conference. I don't think that's a wrong answer either. You know, and that's why I know it's cheating, guys, for us to say BPA, best player available, but that's why I'm holding fast on that. Because if it's a defensive player, like somebody else mentioned, if one of the corners are there, grab the best player. Highest athlete, highest player, regardless of position that is on your board at 20. If you're not moving anywhere to get a quarterback, I definitely would like to see them do that. And if it's defense, great. Because, yes, cornerback is a position we need to be looking at like this to make sure. I know we signed a couple guys, you know, re-signed Akello and Levi Wallace, but I'm just saying, you know, are we solidified there for the future? So I would take that. I would take a Kyle Hamilton if he's there. What if a dude like, well, see now, the Nakobe Dean situation, I don't know. I don't know if I would go with that size linebacker because he kind of fits the same kind of mold as like Jack, you know, semi-smaller guy. So I don't know. But yeah, those are my quick thoughts on that, man. Let's grab the next two calls and we can be done for the night. First one of the two is area code 412. That's got to be somebody from around the burg. So those are always special callers. What you got for us?
Hey, how you doing, Sam? Always good to hear from you. Blessings to you and yours.
Sim, I'm going to tell you, through this whole draft process, the one pet peeve that is always on my mind is that the Steelers last year finished last in run defense, giving up 143.8 yards.
Yeah.
Our division has not changed. Matter of fact, Cleveland has just gotten better. Denver has just gotten better.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati was just in the Super Bowl last year with all the hype about Malik Willis. When I look at about Super Bowl participants in the last few years, it wasn't the guys that was doing a lot of running around, making exciting runs. It was the guys who were running ball control, accurate passes. So if we go quarterback, I'd like to see that. But moreover, when we were dominant, we were always able to run ball control the clock, and stop other teams from rushing on us. That was our staple. And I don't know when it got so passe to say, well, the Steelers don't need help stopping the run. So we can get all these good offensive players, but if we can't stop nobody from running on us, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So that's one of my things that has been harping on me all year. And one other thing, Shem, before I let you go, we need to be careful what's going on in the NFL now. The contracts are getting outrageous. Before you know it, it'll be like baseball around the NFL, and the Steelers might end up someday like the Pirates. That's just something to think about, my brother. Blessings to you and yours, Sam. You take care.
Man, 4112, thank you for the blessings. Blessings to you and yours as well. And why did you have to depress me at the end of the call? You telling me the Steelers going to be like the Buccos? Oh, my God. The vision is in my mind. Please don't say that the Steelers are going to end up like the Buccos, man. But, yeah, that is something to consider. You know, I'm a huge advocate of football players getting the big contracts and more guarantees and things like that. But you're right. You do have to – you got to kind of be careful, man, when things like that happen. So, can't deny that. And my man, you are 1,000% correct, right? I know a lot of us diehard Steelers fans, we like to look back when we won Super Bowls and how we did it. And yes, the game has changed. But one thing that has not changed, the running game still can dictate wins and losses in the NFL. Even though it's a pass-happy league, even though you have guys airing it out and throwing for 400 yards like it's nothing, the teams that can run that football are super, super successful. Now, there's a couple caveats. You know, Cleveland could run the football, and for whatever reason, they can't get out of their own way. But then you have a team like Tennessee, and for whatever reason, they couldn't keep up with some of the other scoring teams. But look at how far they went. And maybe if Tennessee's defense was a little more elite, they might have got over the hump. But that is the one thing that has not changed. Ball control, clock management, running that ball, playoff, running the football when it's cold. And like you said, if we can't stop the run, what good does it do? So, yeah, we definitely got to make sure that defense does not repeat what they did last year. And it depresses me to even say it because, yes, as a spoiled Steelers fan in this regard, I ain't used to seeing no Steelers team being the worst against the run. I'm sorry. I'm a little pissed off by that. And maybe it's us, our arrogance as fans. Pittsburgh Steelers don't have no. It's like some of you guys, y'all know that, like that meme or that Tracy Morgan doing no. That's how I feel. That don't happen. Pittsburgh Steelers ain't got no business being at the bottom of the league against the run. No. I can't see that again. That has hurt my Pittsburgh pride forever. As a Steeler fan. No. I will not accept that again. So you are 100% right, man. Appreciate the call. Last call of the night, man. Area code 859. What you got for us?
What up, Sim? This Carmichael, the sports guru. You
What's
know what I
up,
mean? I've
man?
been following you on a few of your endeavors you got going on. Appreciate the content as well. But to combat what Homeboy said about the Steelers turning into the Pirates, I don't ever see that happen because it's a salary cap.
Yeah.
Baseball is different when it comes to salary caps, and just to combat that. But we also got to keep in mind that our run stoppers was out for majority of the year. So we're
That's
getting
true.
them back. That kept the lid on the run game. Not saying it's going to be elite, but it's still going to be a glimpse of what it used to be at least. So we can bank on that. And in the draft, I was just reading through some of the tea leaves, and Tomlin, he stated basically the pool inside of the pool, and they putting in the same efforts that they did last year when they was looking for a running back.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of tells me that it's going to be a quarterback. And some of y'all need to just get over it. And, we got all these holes to fill and all of that. When I heard Colbert clearly say yesterday that they got starters in every position. So where's these holes that people talking about? I don't get it. Yeah, we can have better players at certain positions, but every player is not going to be a Pro Bowler. So, let's be realistic here, y'all. Can we do that for a season? Let's be realistic. And people talking about Trubisky and give him a shot and he got all his potential, and they only saying that because they don't want them to draft a quarterback. Let's be real. We can't just pick and choose, Mitch Trubisky going to be elite because we don't want to draft a quarterback. That's not how this works. I hope he ball out, to be honest with you, but the probability of him balling out, let's be real. Let's be real, Steeler Nation. Let's be real. I'm getting sick of these comments I'm seeing on social media. We got to come back to earth. This is a offensive league now. You can't score points. They even changing the OT rules to fit the offense. I better wake up. And if you ain't got no offense, you ain't going to be able to compete. Yeah, if you could get stops. We got stops last year. We stopped Kansas City the first quarter. No points. But no offense. The momentum shift right back to the team. You can't just sit here and say we got all these holes. It was mainly, I would say, personnel, and a lot of it was scheme-oriented. With Ben Roethlisberger and the offensive coordinator slightly beefing. But I'm going to just leave it at this. I like Kenny Pickett personally. I like a quarterback with a baseball background. They can throw on the run. They good at twerking at the waist, all of that, whatnot. You know what I mean? But that's what I prefer. That's an unpopular opinion. And I appreciate you taking my call, bro.
Man, definitely appreciate that call. And for the record, to add on to what he said, there's no right answer here. There's no clear-cut guy that stands head and shoulders above the other. So the things that each person likes personally and individually, I respect it. But one thing that my man said that I got to agree with, I meant to say this earlier, so thanks for reminding me. For everyone who doesn't want the Steelers to draft a quarterback, whether that's the right or wrong thing to do, you're basically saying you're satisfied with Mitch Trubisky just being the starter the entire season. And again, I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I'm just saying that's the alternative. Steelers sit tight. They don't draft any quarterback this year. Mitch Trubisky is your starter for 2022, or Mason Rudolph has to come in and take over for Mitch Trubisky. And by the way, let me just say this really quick. I'm getting ready to close out the blog talk. I see 651 is still in there, so I'm just going to say, if you can, man, bounce back over to the stream. I'm only going to be here another 2 minutes or so anyway. I just don't want blog talk telling us 90 seconds. So I'm cutting that off now. And yes, I'm going to pretty much honor this timer and get out of here like I said I would at an hour. So let me close that out. It's going to end the show here as far as blog talk. All right. But yes, so that's pretty much what we're saying, guys, is that you're comfortable with Mr. Trubisky. And again, I'm not putting an indictment on him. I'm just saying those are the only alternatives. Steelers draft a quarterback in the first round, and if he has to, he comes in and plays later in the season. Or You know what I'm saying? So this is what happens when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback that's been there for what was it, 18 seasons, 17, whatever it was, 17, and they leave. This is what you're left with if you don't aggressively go after a would-be quarterback before that, which Steelers really didn't necessarily have the luxury to do because of where we always drafted. And a lot of people would have been pissed had they moved way up in 3 years ago to get some of those guys. So it's a no-win situation, but we can probably agree that the Steelers didn't really have a great succession plan. They tried with Mason Rudolph, and however we feel about him is however we feel. So I definitely think that they are going for a quarterback. I just have a feeling that it might not necessarily be in the first. It all depends on how the board is falling. I'll give you my final thoughts on it before Thursday's live show. I would prefer them to not have to trade up. That would be my preference. Because this is one thing that I can't, rule out as well. Let's say they don't draft the quarterback at all. I'm cool with that too. Because I'm cool with the rebuild. I'm cool with Mitch Trubisky at the moment being your bridge gap guy. And it just is what it is. And let me cut the timer off now. I'm cool with that. Because that could very well be the case. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm cool with it, bro. I would rather them not have to trade up. And if they don't trade up and one of those quarterbacks are available in the second round, I expect the Steelers might make a move in the second round to go get one of those guys that they might prefer. And I think it's Desmond Ridder. Could work out like that. And there you have it. So, guys, what I'm not going to do tonight, I'm not going to read secondary comments tonight. Y'all know I usually spend some time in here with you guys. I'm not going to do it tonight only because we'll be back Thursday. So let's go ahead and wrap this show up. So just to advertise that, Thursday night, we will be doing live coverage of the draft. I'm going to start it at 8 o'clock. No need for me to do it at 7:30, right? We'll start it when the draft starts. Maybe I'll come on a little early so we can go on right at 8. Kenyon will be here hanging out. And I'm going to wait to see if any of our lovely ladies want to join. They are all welcome. Tony may be here as well. But we're going to do that. And we got plenty of time to read through the comments and see what you guys have to say. And we're going to do it together. So that is the plan. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Come on back here and watch the draft live with us. And we going to see what the Steelers are going to do. And that's as simple as it gets. So like I said, we got plenty of time to read your guys' comments and things of that nature. Then, there you have it. There you have it. Listen, I'm excited, man. I am excited. Like my man said, he says like having wealthy parents and waiting for Christmas the next morning. I'm excited just because this is a draft like no other. This is a draft where we're literally talking about the Steelers possibly drafting a first-round quarterback. We have not had this issue since 2004. So I'm excited just to see how it all shakes out. Just to see if they're confident with what we have. The 22 starters, as Colbert said. And again, even if they draft a rookie and if they draft him in the first round, they're not drafting him to start this week. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. It's so up in the air, man. I just can't wait to officially see how it shakes out. Who falls, what other trades happen. Because what we're not remembering is there's other teams that could have these same plans. And somebody could go way up and get Malik Willis before he ever even gets to us. And then, what else could happen at 20 out of fear? They could draft a guy like Ridder at 20. Yeah, I know y'all don't want to hear that, but I'm saying if the Steelers are feeling pressure, Pickett is gone if they like him. Malik Willis is gone, which obviously I think they like him. And they're feeling like they're backed in the corner and at 20, Ridder is there, or whichever of the other 5. They could draft one of them dudes at 5. At 20. One of those 5. So, anything can happen. What can happen will happen during the NFL draft. But all right, guys, I'm signing off. Once again, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live broadcast will be on. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time. And we'll watch that first round together. And there you have it. Before you go, guys, if you haven't already, I'm just going to remind you, make sure, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button if you like what you saw here tonight. And once you have subscribed, click that notification bell so you know when videos are live and running. How else will you know that we live on draft night if you ain't got on no notification? How you going to know that? But all right, man, y'all be good for the rest of the night, rest of the evening. Watch some NBA playoffs. Hopefully, come Thursday, I'm trying to remember, will we play by then? I think we will. Hopefully, come Thursday, I'm telling y'all how my Sixers got it done. Or I'm going to be doing one of these numbers that because the series is 3-3. So, there you have it. But outside of that, guys, you guys stay blessed, stay safe, have a great night, and I thank you for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. Catch you later. Peace.